But you heard it here first. If this ends up like spreading and becoming like a hot topic, you heard it here first. Candy corn, candy corn industry is actually a front for money laundering.
You heard it here first. This is a Red Band podcast exclusive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The candy corn industry is a money laundering front.
Lights, camera, action.
Like, do you have 12 hours to watch 2 Apatow movies?
He's got J-Lo back. You don't just get J-Lo back.
What's the worst, like, acid trip you've ever had?
Well, this is Red Band Podcast, baby. Movies, music, conspiracies, deep existential crises. It's all inside and it's all unfiltered. So let's get started.
Thievery.
I actually have a whole story about something of mine that was stolen, but I'm hesitant to tell it in case that particular person ends up hearing this podcast. So
is it because have you like forgiven them and you talk to them still, or?
I never confronted them about it. This was actually very recent.
Oh,
like a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
I found, hey, and it's not a huge deal. I was partially flattered, but also kind of, it was a weird thing to steal.
Yeah.
So that's why I was teetering. And I haven't seen or talked to this person probably since we graduated, honestly.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
So it's someone I know?
No, you don't know them.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay.
They were in my, this was not graduated high school. This was graduated college.
UNM.
So the film program.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching something of theirs and I noticed they stole something of mine. And I just found out about it a couple of weeks ago. And the thing too is that they're kind of notorious for stealing. I've heard a few stories from other people that this person has stolen titles, ideas.
They're a Carlos Mencia.
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
Oh my God. He was a comedian, big Chicano comedian.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was like, he's notorious for stealing material.
Really?
Oh yeah. That was actually like Joe Rogan confronted him on stage and they almost fought like a long time ago at the Comedy Store. And yeah, this guy is a classic Carlos Mencia.
Wow. Joe Rogan would have wiped him off the face of the earth if they fought.
Yeah, that video always bothers me because I like, I like to think I'd have a level of humility if someone I knew who was going to kick my ass, threaten my ass, and I'd be like, yeah, no, you're going to kick my ass. Like, I'm not. But like when people try to act like, no, bro, I'll get your ass. And it's like, you won't get his ass. You won't. You won't. Joe Rogan himself, like martial artist since he was a teenager, like Carlos Mencia, chubby comedian thief Carlos Mencia. It's not going to beat Joe Rogan's ass. I think
if Joe Rogan was confronting me about to beat my ass, I would just put my hands up. I'd be like, DMT, DMT, DMT. And he'd be like, what? DMT? Have you ever tried DMT? That's
he'd be
crazy.
Like, that's the secret password.
That's this. Yeah. It's like that episode of Seinfeld where he has the secret sign with the, I don't know, fucking whatever that president was.
Right.
That club. Anyway. Super obscure reference, I'm sure.
See, that's what's crazy is I never did Seinfeld.
You didn't?
I need to.
You know
I
what?
would like it.
Just dropped on Netflix today.
Really?
It's on Netflix now.
It was on Hulu.
It was. Yeah, it was on Hulu. And now it's on. Well, this by the time everyone listens to this, it will have already been on Netflix for a little bit. But yeah. Yeah,
because I'm big on Larry David.
He's got a sense of humor that is just. Well, George is based off him.
That's what I think.
It is him.
It is him, right?
Yeah.
He's just playing him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Larry David's no actor.
No. But at the same time, you put him on screen, he has some whatever character charisma. I've seen a little bit of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I'm like, yeah. Whatever he's got, it's funny, and I don't know why. It's just a weird, dry, like he's a schmuck.
Yes.
But a funny schmuck.
He's a mensch.
A mensch. What is that?
It's like another like very New York kosher term for just like a good guy, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say things like kosher in that way? I was trying to dance around it in the most unoffensive way.
I don't know.
Possible.
I don't know what the rules on
Well, you
that
definitely don't talk about you-know-who. World War II guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We don't. He
What was
who
his
shall
name
not be
again?
named.
I don't. John? I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Jadolf?
Jade. That sounds like a fucking DJ name.
It kind of does.
What's up, everybody? Make some noise for fucking Jadolf in the house.
Yeah, DJ Jadolf.
Jadolf.
Just like imagine like just someone telling you that they fucked Jadolf last night. It's like, where were you? We lost you after the show. Oh my God, you're not going to believe. Jadolf invited me back to his bus. He had a small cock, but he's Jadolf. I mean, you're not going to not fuck Jadolf.
Exactly. It was weird. His bus looked like a bunker, but I didn't question it.
Took me a second. Yeah, he had a gun. He was saying things like the Americans are infiltrating. This is it.
I went with it though.
Yeah.
It was kind of my kink. I liked it.
He said burn the files.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was all about.
He started talking about how he only had one testicle, and
is that true?
I think.
Whoa. Isn't that like when we were kind of talking about that the being like the insecurities and like I guess you could call it toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is kind of dangerous because like you might have a guy who like fails out of art school, has one testicle, loves amphetamines, and like that's a recipe for fucking disaster.
Did Jadolf did he fail out of art school?
That's the whole bit. Yeah.
Is that it?
He failed out of art school. You know, he was just like mad at the world. Like he was just like,
how do you fail out of art school? That's anything is art.
Right.
I've been seeing this thing going around where this guy turned in 2 blank canvases and titled it "Take the Money and Run."
I saw that.
Right. And someone paid him a stupid amount of money for some blank canvases. And it's not the first time someone's turned in just blank, stupid shit and called it art. Right. So how do you fail out of a profession where you can literally do whatever and call it art?
He wasn't an artist.
No wonder he snapped.
Yeah.
You failed at the easiest fucking thing in the entire world that takes absolutely, I mean, it can take no effort.
Right.
I got to be careful here. I don't want to say art takes no effort. But what I'm saying is those who turn in shit like that, that's no effort, man.
The artists will want to drag you for that, but they need to understand that 80% of them aren't doing anything that great.
Are we pretentious art critiques? Is that what's happening right
Absolutely, we are.
Maybe, yeah. Because I can't paint.
No.
Really.
No.
But at the same time, I could not paint really well and turn that in and just say it's abstract.
Yes.
And call it art and make $100,000 off of it.
Of course.
And Jadolf couldn't even do that.
Jadolf couldn't even get that one done. And he was in Europe.
Yeah, right.
And he was in Europe.
So much inspiration out there. So many beautiful landscapes, backgrounds, history to look at. And he couldn't even do the fucking elementary school handprint turkey painting that every kid does. He couldn't even do that. Are you kidding me, Jadolf?
He couldn't even do a couple of hand turkeys.
No. Unreal. What a fucking failure.
What a fucking failure. Truly. History will remember.
Yeah.
For one thing. And one thing only.
Yeah, that's the only thing he'll ever be remembered for, right?
Failing out of art school.
And I bet the professor probably said something too, like, you'll never make anything of yourself. No one will ever even know your name.
Right. He was like trying to pick up on chicks. He was all shaking from like amphetamine use.
Yeah.
They're all like, ew, fucking ew, Jadolf. Like, you can't even do a hand turkey, you fucking chode. And he was like, yeah, I'm not going to attempt to do a German accent. Yeah. I'm not.
That's all fine and well. That's okay.
That's all, folks.
I think the world would benefit from an Elijah German accent, but maybe we're not ready for that yet.
The problem is, like, I would need to, like, not over exaggerate it and try and sound like Jadolf, because that's just super insensitive to German people because they don't all sound like Jadolf.
Right.
And like, that's where I would need to like get a couple of reps in.
Mm-hmm.
How do you even
go to get a vocal coach?
I should get a vocal
speech coach.
Yeah.
I don't get offended by people doing American accents from other countries, like mimicking us.
Yeah.
I find it actually really funny. And I find that they nail it a lot of times.
They do, huh?
They just talk about like cheeseburgers and whatever, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, kind of, pretty much.
Why is it always cheeseburger? It really
that's
is
the most American thing you can eat is a cheeseburger.
It's always fucking cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's like a guy from Hungary and a chick from Denmark. And they're just like, yeah, man, cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then the girls are like,
and trucks.
Cheeseburger. And it's like, what?
And I'm just over here like, I mean, yeah.
Accurate.
Kind of. I could go for a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's accurate. And I could. And we do. We love a good cheeseburger.
We love a good cheeseburger.
We do.
What does Robert Downey Jr. ask for as soon as he gets back from being held captive in Iron Man 1?
Right.
American cheese. I want an American cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say? A press conference.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Dude, my eyes glazed over and I think I blacked out for a second.
I think you became possessed by Robert Downey Jr. He's not even dead.
A little bit of RDJ in here.
That's good.
Bruce. He just says "Ola."
He does, huh?
All right, Bruce. Anyone want to get some shawarma? Shawarma after?
Okay, I didn't know you were fucking Jeff Dunham, fucking impressionist.
I didn't know you were Bill Hader. I think I don't remember anything from the past few minutes. How long was I out?
Yeah, you were out for a little bit there.
Okay, wow.
You were doing RDJ.
RDJ.
That's great. You really didn't know you could do that?
No, that just came out.
That's so good.
I was like, should I do an RD? Kind of like you. Like, should I do a German impression?
Right.
It's like, should I try to be? And then it just came out, and I don't remember anything.
And you didn't embarrass yourself, and that's what's great.
I hope not.
No, you didn't.
Okay, good.
No, that's wonderful. I'm in awe and I'm in shock. I truly am. And I would like to know what else you can maybe pull out of your ass, but maybe we'll let it happen organically.
Organically, exactly.
Do you know the story? Okay, let's address that because I just coughed into the microphone again. I need to stop doing that.
Loved your story, your Instagram story.
Did you love it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
What a beautiful way to address the public.
I hate hearing it from myself. I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
I stopped smoking. My throat continued to be phlegmy, as you could probably hear. I started smoking again.
You were like, how can I get rid of the phlegm?
Yeah.
I know.
Started back up.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of fucking water.
Yeah.
I already have to pee again, kind of, from all the water I've drank.
How much water do you drink a day?
I have whatever this is.
32 ouncer?
Yeah. How much is it?
32.
I think I have myself a 32 ouncer.
Okay.
At work, I go through about 2 of those. I fill it up before I leave work. And I drink that before the night is done.
That's pretty good. That is a good amount of water.
I drink a lot of water. Doesn't help the throat.
No. You're just a very phlegmy kind of guy.
I'm kind of sick of it. But at the same time, like, I'm also like, I'm wondering if my voice is just transforming. It kind of feels like it is.
A vocal growth spurt.
Yeah.
If you will.
Like, I feel like I'm starting to teeter on the edge of like, I might get to like a Jonah Hill type thing soon.
Yeah.
Which I would love. Very
Can
much.
you do a Jonah Hill impression?
I don't think I can do any impressions. It's like there's a lot of things I'll go for, but like the sheer thought of like just falling on my face trying to do an impression, there's a blockage. You ever experience just like a blockage? There's just like a point you cannot pass.
Yeah.
Because your fear is like just blocking you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm experiencing that right now with these impressions. And I'd have to like think of who could I do an impression of? No one. I've always thought like if I had to do a character, like if I was on Saturday Night Live, I could probably do like Drake.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got the look of Drake.
The Drake haircut.
Yeah, I mean, I've often been said to be a thicker Drake. I'm dad bod Drake, and that's hotter. I'm also dad bod Drake that is not like existing in an illusionary world revolving around himself. Well, I take that back. I exist in an illusionary world revolving around myself, so I'm no different than him.
You're the main character.
I'm the main character. I'm the main character. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
How I think I'm the main character. I also think I know shit. I have strong opinions.
Yeah.
And I put my foot down on them, like we said, confidently.
Yeah.
So episode 3, we talked about confidently putting your foot down on an opinion and sticking to that and being honest and having integrity.
Yeah.
Right. And we also said that part of that is possibly like going through that and then like a week later being like, yeah, I was wrong. I feel differently about that now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through that right now.
Okay.
I'm going through that right now. For 2 podcast episodes, we talked about my thing with comedy.
Yes.
We talked about how I was like, you know, the pandemic hit. I did work on myself. It's harder for me to buy into what the unhealthy perspective of comedy, which I did feel like I embodied for quite a time. It's hard because it's hard to like I believe what I say. And at the same time, it can feel embarrassing sometimes. I'm like, did I really say that I might never do comedy anymore because like I'm gonna go out there and be Mother Teresa? And it's like I kind of did because like I kind of feel that way also. Like I do. And don't get me wrong, I'm a certified peer support fucking worker.
Yeah.
Okay. I am certified by the state as a drug addict in recovery to help other drug addicts in recovery. That is my literal job. Like I've made a life out of that.
You were here last week taking calls.
I was taking work calls.
Taking work calls while we're trying to do this just to help the people.
That's my life.
Yeah.
My life is helping drug addicts. And I do know that is the sufficient remedy for my drug addiction, is to help other drug addicts. That is what I've learned to be true. And I know that takes priority over all things.
Yeah.
But the other part of that where it's like, this kind of like thing I was doing, I feel like I might have been doing, and I don't know, I haven't heard the last episode yet, but I feel like I was kind of doing this like holier than thou. Like I'm not going back to comedy because I have worked past my desires for validation or my desires for whatever. I also said I would go back to comedy if I felt like I was doing it for the right reason or if I felt like it was right.
Yeah.
So I'm here to say today,
ooh, big announcement,
that over the last week, I decided to return to comedy. Big announcement.
Huge. And I love it because like you said last week, you just finished saying all this stuff about comedy. So why the sudden switch? And I've held back from asking questions because when you said you were going back to comedy, I said, say no more. I want to find everything out live right here with the people.
Yes.
Let us hear it.
So I think this podcast has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tickled a creative bone in my body in a while. Besides when we were in film school.
Yeah.
Say that again, though.
I said it feels good, doesn't it?
It feels so
Tickling
good.
that creative bone. It feels great.
Tickling the creative prostate feels amazing. You got to understand, throughout the pandemic, I died a little inside.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because of the pandemic. I had multiple family members die. I went through a breakup. My dad almost fucking died.
Jeez.
And then I moved him in with me. I decided to go back to school because I wanted to pursue filmmaking the correct way. I work 40 plus hours a week, and there wasn't comedy to be done. I dove into my recovery program because with all that bad shit happening too, I kind of had to lean on my tools for recovery so I didn't fucking relapse in the middle of a pandemic, for fuck's sake. And so I kind of got to a point like at the end of the last semester where I was merely doing school most of the time besides working. And then I met my wonderful girlfriend who I'm with right now. And I really committed myself to doing a relationship correctly for the first time in my life, where I am devoted to doing whatever work I got to do in that relationship to make it work, which also does take time. And I'm okay with that. I'm not upset about that. I'm not complaining about that. I'm like, I knew it was just like, yeah, I have time for what? I work a lot, relationship, my own recovery, blah, blah, blah. Then we started doing the podcast. Then I started feeling funny again, which is a really good feeling.
Yeah.
I hadn't felt that way in a while. I went back to school for this semester and I made a bad choice. I took biology, math, and English. I wanted to get them all out of the way. I thought it would be smartest to kind of just do it all together. Just do a STEM semester.
A fucking trifecta, man.
Last week, I was sitting there looking at biology terms, cytoplasm.
Yeah, sexy.
Cell membrane, nucleus.
Oh my God. Can we even air this, man? This is all this sexual language you're spitting.
That's a good point right there, because it's like, why does that sound sexual?
Nucleus.
Perioclatic cells or whatever the shit.
Man.
That's hot.
That is hot.
Unfortunately, it had the opposite effect on me. It did not arouse me.
Yeah.
It made me utterly hopeless.
That's exactly how those courses made me feel too.
I refuse to do biology while civilization collapses.
What's the point?
What is the point? What we're doing here right now has made me realize that I still have a dream. I still have a dream.
Wow.
Martin Luther King, not Martin Luther from the Renaissance times, who was a fucking legend. What a guy. Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King. I mean, Martin Luther King was a legend too.
Oh.
But Martin Luther, not King. I remember some stuff from school.
I don't remember hearing that ever.
He essentially went to the church and said, you can't make people pay their way into heaven. You can't tell people that when they give you money, it's going to get them in heaven. And he kind of protested that. And that's how we got. There's a brand, I think it's called Lutheranism. Luciferism? No, I'm just joking. That's not
Luther
it.
Vandross?
Luther Vandross, the Church of?
Dros? Is it Dro or Dros?
I think it's Dros.
Okay, Luther
I think it's
Vandross.
Dros. Dose.
Dosey dose.
So I'm sitting there, I'm doing biology. I procrastinated the week before. I had already dropped my math class at this point. Because I do like to live with integrity now. So I was sitting there in that math class and I was Googling the answers and I was just like, this is not how I want to do it. And I was taking them online. Another mistake I made. I realized when I go back to school, I'm going to have to take these classes in person.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to ask for help. And I'm going to have to I can't be left to my own devices. It can't be up to me to make the time and effort. That's like something I learned in addiction recovery. It's like, if I'm left to my own devices, I am not going to usually do the right thing. When I'm a part of a process that is larger than me, you know, the process of school, the process of therapy, you know, when I put myself into a machine, something else can come out. If I'm trying to be the machine, I can't operate on my own. You know, I need help. I need to admit I need help, right? And like, when you're like an adult who grew up as kind of a traumatized kid in like environments that weren't always so healthy. Shout outs to mama. I know you did your best. I'm not, you know, shout outs to dad. I know you did your best, you know, but they know. Yeah. Times were hard. I had very young parents. They didn't always know exactly. And I don't blame them. Yeah. But then you grow up and you're like, you know, you have those unhealthy behaviors. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to, you know, I want to try and just do everything on my own and not ask anyone. Anyways, to make a long story short, or make it long, fuck it, it's our podcast.
Yeah, whatever.
See, and that's funny because that's another like thing, like those anxieties. Is like when I start talking a lot, I get like, I'm all like, does Estevan think I'm talking too much?
Oh, I feel that. And you feel like the spotlight and you're like, the spotlight's been on me way too long. I need to somebody else speak. Nobody cares what I'm saying. I'm rambling.
Totally. And I'm like, is he sitting there thinking like I'm talking to like, damn, here goes Elijah trying to take the fucking
here we go, the fucking Elijah
fucking,
show.
Okay,
again.
let's do the Elijah show again. And like, no, I know you're not thinking.
No,
that,
I don't. You know why? Because you're engaging.
Thank you.
I don't know what it is, but
You're a good teammate.
Thank
And
you.
you are also engaging, my friend. That's why we're great. That's why we're
great.
going to be the biggest podcast on earth.
we're just beating each other off on the show right now.
God damn it. Well, don't tell, that was the other thing about the story. Did you like that?
Yeah,
Where it was
yeah.
like we were sharing microphones.
tension.
There was a lot of sexual tension. Nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened quite yet. Stick around.
Yet you're saying there's a chance.
I also love that. I want to keep running that joke that like you're not allowed on Instagram for some reason. You're just like, I also maybe like want to go like you got caught selling black market guns on Instagram, so you're just not allowed to have one.
I got banned.
You got banned from Instagram. You're not allowed to run any pages besides those of your own namesake.
Yeah.
That is being monitored very closely by the FBI.
For my arms dealing
Exactly.
history, my past.
Exactly. So that's why I'm like, I literally give you all the passwords. But anyways, it's all stories.
It's a story you tell yourself.
The story I told myself 2 weeks ago is I might never do comedy again because it's all protective. Like it's all like, I'm also like protecting myself in a way.
Yeah.
I think.
Or even more like, I don't know if I can do comedy again.
Right.
Not wanting to probably comes from doubting whether or not you can. I'm not cut out for this. I can't do comedy or doing comedy is going to make me this person.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It's all stories. It's the story that we tell ourselves. I'll never be able to do comedy and not turn into this particular person.
Yeah.
That's just a story. Change the story. You can do comedy and you can actually shift to the other side and be a person that does comedy that they love, and it becomes a person that they love.
Yes.
Do you think maybe doing this podcast has kind of lubricated the gross word? Why did I use that word? It's the only one I could think of.
That was very poetic.
Well, I guess I'll just go with it. Has lubricated more creative juices. God, what a disgusting sentence. Basically, has it helped you become more creative? Because I've noticed too, before this, I was pretty stagnant. Like I would get some ideas, but they would be stuck,
Right.
and I would and they just kind of sit there in my little database of fragmented ideas. And we start doing this, and I noticed that all of a sudden I have ideas for this podcast, for a different one. I have ideas for video series I want to try and do. I have ideas for skits and sketches and movie ideas, TV shows. And all of a sudden it starts flowing a lot more effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think it's because I'm actively doing something creative. And so everything else it kind of loosens up and it just flows a little bit easier. Would you say that's maybe the same?
I would say that's 100% the same, because I've felt very similarly. I've felt similarly about ideas for this podcast. I've felt like I've been in that mindset to come up with jokes for stand-up again. Like I've been writing, and I'm like enjoying writing. When I was trying to write a couple of months ago, I would feel like a fucking void in my chest, and I'd just be like, I can't get the fucking effort to do this. Like, and then movie ideas, like you said, like just things like a vision of hope, like where it's just like, yeah, like this is who I am. This is what I want to do. And it's hard because like, it's funny, like two of the things that I did, like the last 2 semesters, I thought it would be cool to take film classes, and I thought it would be cool to take a religion class. And I feel like boxing those 2 things into an academic context kind of like fucked them up for a second. You know what I mean? It didn't make me feel like as connected to it when I was studying for it and like taking tests about it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I don't know. I definitely think this podcast has done that though for me. I really do. And that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Because that was my other thought. It wasn't just about the comedy. And that's why I texted you that after, because I was like, oh, I don't want him to think I just made this about myself doing comedy. Like, it was about this podcast. It was like, what happens if I'm not in school and I put all my time and energy into this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could we do? You know?
Anything. Anything and everything.
Right.
That's true for anything. That if you just maximum effort something, I mean, you can pretty much do, not pretty much, you can do any single thing that you want to do within that realm that you're applying yourself to.
Maximum effort.
Massive action.
Massive.
Every single day. And that's the biggest thing, was even with this podcast, taking the leap.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've done this before. I've even done this before a few years ago, trying to start one. And what happens is it just ends up being files that sit on my computer. It never goes anywhere.
Right.
And I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it comes down to doubts.
Yeah.
Is this good? Is anyone going to like this? Is this going to be anything? And finally just taking massive action, taking that leap and going, okay, we'll just put it out and we'll see. And
Definitely.
doing it. And here we are.
It's crazy because I think it's like, I don't realize it until it's on the other end, but there's like such a fear component because it is scary to put yourself out there. It's scary to just do all that and then like put it on platforms and be like, okay, like I'm open, vulnerable. Like we could have this conversation and not put it online.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing scary about that.
Right.
When you put the conversation online, like there is. And so there's like the story that you'll use to like, you know, not exactly confront the fact that it's scary. Like, you know, and that's the same with the comedy thing. It's like, there's plenty of stories I can tell myself to not confront myself with the fact that it's scary to take that huge leap of faith. Think about the idea of like, what if you actually were given like $10 million and told to go make a movie?
Yeah.
As excited as I would be, I'd be fucking terrified.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fucking so scary.
Yeah. And it's someone else's money.
Yeah.
And they're relying on you. Don't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm. That's why the fear of success is equal to the fear of failure. I kind of feel like.
Yeah. Well, they say you attract what you fear, right?
Right.
I'm so afraid of success. I'm so afraid of millions and millions of dollars. I'm so afraid of nice cars and big houses. So afraid of all of it.
Terrified of it.
So afraid of a financially free life.
Yes.
So afraid to pay off all student loans.
Horrified.
I'm terrified of that, man.
That's the other funny thing I said. As I thought to myself is like, I should just start making bold claims about things because it always goes in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I should just start sitting here saying, I will never make $1 million. I know why I won't ever make $1 million. It's because I am willing to be a Buddhist who has no material means, and that's my path. And then maybe next week I'll have $1 million just because I said that stupid shit.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Find what works for you and work the shit out of it.
Work the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
It's cool because like you said too, and like this goes back to our good friend Deadbird there, saying that he was thinking he would maybe cringe and then he enjoyed it. And I feel like that's the feedback I always get from comedy when people come watch me is they're like, I was scared because I know that there's a chance you're going to fucking suck. And I was pleasantly surprised to enjoy myself and not have to cringe while watching you do stand up. And I feel like you've probably gotten similar feedback on your film projects, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right.
And that's, it just comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Creatives have to kind of have that tough outer shell.
Yeah.
And not to say that I always do.
Right.
It's so much easier said than done. But yeah, I would be in film school. There was actually my capstone year, my graduation year. We struggled hard. So this is, if you want to hear the whole
I would love
spiel.
to. Yes, please.
So
it's time.
happened? It's
your turn to talk. It's my turn to shut up and vape.
I hate talking, but okay. Says the guy who has a podcast.
Huh.
Yeah, so what happened was we had come off of the year prior where we made this sci-fi action video called Eva. A shameless plug if you guys want to go check it out on YouTube.
Which you shot in White Sands, right?
Went to White Sands. That could be a whole podcast.
That's
episode.
so cool.
I still need to talk about that because that experience was so fucking miserable. Everything went wrong. Absolutely everything went wrong. I'll have the whole crew on who helped.
That would be great
with it, and we'll just talk about memories from it because it was anyone who's interested in doing a project like that, a short film or anything, you will probably love to hear all the misery we went through, and it hopefully encourages you to still do it and not discourages you.
Right.
Chase your dreams or something like that.
Something like that.
So we had just finished doing that video, and it was very, very ambitious. Like the fact that somebody went to White Sands to shoot a video in our cohort, at least, was ambitious.
Yeah.
That was something that other film students weren't totally doing. And that's not me saying that. That's just other teachers that were, and other students, like, you guys are going to go to White Sands for this? So we kind of had big expectations for ourselves going into our graduation. And you're like, holy shit, how do we top that? We actually had a professor who he helped us make some of the props for our short. And he said, you guys basically made a graduation project the year before you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
They should just give you your diplomas now. And he's like, because now the next step is like small explosions.
Right.
And then so I ended up coming back to him later before our graduation. I said, remember how you said the next step is small explosions? We kind of have an idea for that now. And so we struggled a lot of that summer coming up with what are we going to do? Because our professor for that course said, you guys need to show up. If you want to direct, you need to show up on the first day of class with a script.
Yep.
Written. Otherwise, you're not. Anyone who comes up with a script will head a project. Anyone who doesn't will just be, kind of the moving pieces to help those projects. So we were scrambling, and we thought, should we do a sequel to the sci-fi short we just did?
Right.
Should we do a second episode to our mockumentary series, The Z Team?
Great show.
Thank you. Thank you. Still want to make that an actual show.
Would love it.
So any network people who might be listening to this, throw some money at your guy. We'll make it happen.
Give us money.
Give us money, man. That's all it comes down to is money and people you know.
It's always. Ugh.
So we were like, what the fuck do we do? We had settled on kind of doing a sequel to the sci-fi short. And then a friend of ours hit us up and said, guys, I met these people at this convention, this film and TV convention. And he owns a bunch of World War II stuff, legit World War II stuff, guns, uniforms, tanks, everything. And he's willing to let us use it for free because I told him that you guys are students and all this stuff. And he said, well, if they're students, I'll let them use it for free.
Yeah.
So now we're like, fuck, we have to. How could we pass up the opportunity? A tank in a student film? Come on. We have to write something World War II now.
Right.
So now here we go, spiraling, talking about what ideas we can do. And then we stopped, and, our hesitation was, we're students.
Yeah.
Students attempting to make a war scene, if it's not done right, which very difficult to do right, unless you have millions of dollars.
And even then.
Still fuck it
they're
up.
bad war movies.
Yeah. All the time, right? So that was our hesitation. We didn't want to make this war battle scene and ruin it.
Right.
And tarnish the name of ourselves and World War II and just make everything look bad, right? Make a mockery of it.
Yeah.
So we eventually came to the decision, well, shit, I guess we'll just do the second episode to Z Team. That's a cool idea, but we can't come up with anything that really excites us that we think we could do well.
Yeah.
So then we showed up on the first day with that script, pitched it. Everyone was kind of about it, right? Like episode 2, okay, guys, cool, But then we kept coming back to it as a group and just going, how can we pass this up? We have to make something, man. This is a huge opportunity to be able to have authentic uniforms, authentic weapons. We have to come up with something. And so the first whole semester basically was script revisions. We would come every single week, and it's like, animation group, let's see how your animations are coming. Okay, this group, come up here, talk about your script, talk about your plans, show us locations you've scouted, that kind of thing, weekly updates.
Yeah.
Our group was a shit show. Not intentionally, and not to bash anyone in our group, we all worked really hard. But every week we were just pounding our heads against the desk, just going, wow, what are we going to do? We would come to class with different ideas. And this was the point of telling the story, is every week you just get torn apart.
By your professors?
just by the
or
class.
just by the class,
and not
yeah.
that they're vicious,
Mhm.
but when you do pitch a creative idea and people give you feedback and it's just kind of, it's clearly not working.
Yeah.
So you're just getting torn down at every idea that you throw out week after week after week. And I would come and I'd pitch a different idea and then pitch a different idea and a different idea. And it was like, oh, well, that's kind of a quiet place, isn't it? That's not going to work. Oh, well, I don't get that. Did you guys get that? That wasn't conveyed. How can you make that work? And it's just for weeks, months, we were doing this. We ended up finally having a breakthrough with an idea that ended up being our graduation project called Grief. World War II, kind of a whodunit thing where it was kind of, I mean, more like a Hateful Eight, right? Where it takes place all in one location, like the house. And there's a German spy amongst this group of American soldiers, and they're trying to figure out who it is.
Ooh.
That's what we came up with.
And that's just so good.
And that was so hard to write.
Right.
So then, okay, now we finally have the idea. Now we take the idea in every single week. How do we make it work? Who actually did it? How can we write this part? And then that gets torn down.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys try this? You should look into this. Watch this movie. That's too similar to this thing. Why don't you do the? And oh man, dude, the mental exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, just defeat.
Which is incredibly realistic for the filmmaking process.
100%. 100%. And the movie was called Grief, and in a way, it couldn't have been more poetic for how we were just going through every single week, being not only getting the criticisms from our classmates, but being hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
Just what can we do? And it was so stressful, and we would get together all the time and just sit in a room in silence, staring at walls, trying to come up with anything.
Right.
The amount of ideas we pitched to each other that year into our class is absurd. But all of that is to just say, you have to have that thick skin.
Yep.
And know that it's not personal. It can definitely feel personal, right, in the moment. But when I step back from it now, you and your classmates are just trying to help everyone make the best possible thing that they can make.
Right.
And you want that. You want to know, is what I'm doing shitty? It's the same with this podcast. I sent it to some friends and I would tell them, look, tell me everything. If you feel like you're zoning out or something's boring, it's not working, I want to know that.
Yes.
So we don't do that.
Exactly.
Because we want to make it better.
Right.
That was the year that was definitely the most taxing for me emotionally. And I grew a lot in the sense of just finding a way to take that criticism and make it work rather than letting it beat me down, I guess, and keep me down.
And that's what it takes to make something good. Because you guys could have easily just taken the easy way out in every direction. And even if you did utilize your resources to make some sort of war film, you could have just done the most cliche. You could have done the most experimental, the most unambitious bullshit. You could have.
Yeah.
You could have. But when it means that much to you, you're going to go to those lengths.
And that's really it, right? No matter what you are doing in life, there's going to be criticisms about it. If you're a business owner, if you are creative and do art or make music or make movies, if you are a fucking accountant, it doesn't matter, right? If you really love and enjoy what you're doing, then the criticisms, they definitely hurt more, right? That's your baby.
Sure.
But they won't hold you down because you'll take the criticisms and you'll be like, I want to fucking be better. They're saying I suck. Okay, well, why?
Right.
And I mean, that's the importance of constructive criticism. Telling someone you guys fucking suck doesn't get you anywhere. Why do we fucking suck?
Exactly.
Is it our delivery on something? Is it the angle that we're taking on this? Whatever it is it that we're not consistent? Give constructive criticism. And then if you really love what you're doing, you'll take that to heart and you'll find a way to be better.
Right.
No matter what. And you won't let it get you down. Unless, you're an accountant. No, who as an accountant loves their job?
Or is doesn't want criticism. They're just like dying for some action. They're sitting in that fucking office. They're like, can someone come yell at me?
Yeah.
Can someone please just hit me?
Just
like,
spit on my face.
Spit in my mouth.
Yeah. That accountant life, man.
Yeah.
My friend is going to school to be an accountant.
Is he?
Or he was. That's kind of his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accounting. And man, he hates it, I think. Not I think. He does. He really hates it. And we're like, man, you should have been in our degree.
Right.
Because he's always in our projects anyway.
Right.
Or helps with them, or he's in the Z team. He's the main guy, Sergeant Pepper.
Yes, I remember him.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah,
good guy.
A great guy, and I don't want to speak for him, but
sure.
I think he enjoys doing that kind of stuff with us way more than accounting stuff.
Yeah,
but it's one of those things where he says he took the job because he knows it's stable. It's always going to be around. Someone's always going to need accounting done.
Yep.
Whereas a film degree, I think, has been ranked one of the top most useless degrees you can ever get.
For sure.
And that sucks.
That
I have
does
one
suck.
of those, but
you got one of those.
Yeah. It's just doing that thing. And I've learned more over the past year because of the pandemic and everything. Just kind of opened my eyes a lot that if I'm not really happy enjoying something, I'm going to get out of it.
Yeah.
I was at a miserable job for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I hated going into that job. 4 years worth of it. And the day finally came when I quit. And I just remember thinking, why did it take me so long to quit this shitty, miserable fucking job?
What was that job again?
That job, I worked at a gym.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Should I drop the name of the gym? I would, dude, because I would love to just shit on them. But at the same time,
God.
I think it's frowned upon, isn't it?
Mm.
Everyone always goes, oh, I hated this place. I won't say the place, but if you know, you know. Everyone always does that, and I want to know.
No, fuck that. I want to know. No. I want to know. Which one?
I'll say it, and I guess I'll decide later if I want to keep it in.
Okay.
I worked at...
Also, you could bleep it out. I just realized, too.
That's true.
That could be fun.
That could be fun. Let me try it again. I worked at...
Ooh.
Mm.
Seeing everyone from fucking high school.
That was probably the worst part.
Yeah.
Actually, is seeing everyone I knew there. And the even worst, even more worse? What's the fucking verbiage for that?
Yeah. I think worse, but I like worser.
The even worser part?
The even worstest.
The even worstest. I took AP English, man. I should know. Anyway.
Me too.
We were in the same class.
Were we?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Sorry, dang it. Not to get too off track. Fuck, we were.
Yeah.
McDougal's my life.
Yeah.
Shout outs, Miss McDougal. So wait, did we used to hang out during that class?
A little bit. Remember that time period when she grouped tables together?
Yeah.
We were at the same group.
Were we?
Yeah.
Man, I did too many drugs. I'm like, and that's what makes me think about like, oof, do I want to drop this? That's like bad. Senior year of high school, I started doing cocaine.
Oh, wow.
Like, there was at least one time I had coke with me in that class and went to the bathroom to take a bump. Like,
nice.
Easily.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, sorry. That just blew my fucking mind. I totally forgot we were in the same class, AP English.
Yeah. Well, in high school in general, you just try to block out, right?
Yeah.
Yes, what a shitty time.
Yeah.
It's not like the movies.
No, not even one bit. Not everyone's 30 years old
right.
fucking each other under bleachers.
Yeah. Sometimes, but...
Sometimes.
Yeah, I worked at this gym, and a lot of people I knew were there, and that was probably the most embarrassing part is a lot of them knew what I was doing. They knew that I was into videos and making movies and shorts and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they would see me and, what's up, man? Hey, how's it go? When am I going to see you on the big screen, man? And I'd be like, just got done cleaning somebody's shit off the toilet. Anytime soon, man. I'm going to be on that big screen right after I mop up this dude's fucking sweat.
Right after I clean off the jizz that you leave in the shower.
Oh, I could tell horror stories about working at the gym, man.
Oh.
Horror stories. Ooh, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was a facility technician.
Already.
Which is just a really fancy term for a fucking janitor.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Why we called us facility technicians.
Terrible.
You know the worst part about working at the gym, though, was when people ask you, what do you do? And you say, oh, I work at a gym.
Right.
And then they say, oh, are you a personal trainer? And I go, look at me. Do I look like a... I mean, I'm flattered that that's the first thing you would ask that I do.
Right.
But really? You look at me and you think that I could personally train anybody?
You're like, you know what? Yeah. Drop down and give me 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll help you out. Sure. Drop down and give me 20. That would be $100.
Give me 20 ups.
Yeah. So the worst part is then they, oh, you're a personal trainer, and you go, oh, no, I'm a facility technician.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm a facility technician. I'm a facility technician.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you do? What is that? Fuck. I basically, I maintain the space.
Right.
I would use the most like vague terms. Oh, I maintain everything kind of, I make sure customers are chilling.
Yeah.
Maintain everything, make sure everything's good to go.
Create a cohesive environment for muscle building.
Mm-hmm. I make sure everyone has the top tier experience because I felt humiliated. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone who's in the janitorial business. You're not any less of a person.
No.
But for me, seeing those people that I knew and that knew that I was supposed to be, or they expected to see me making content.
Yeah.
And then I have to turn around and say, I'm a janitor.
Yeah.
At a gym.
Mm-hmm.
I clean up shit and throw up and pee-pee and whatever. Jizz in the
Pee-pee,
showers.
caca.
Yeah.
Come. Pee-pee, caca, come.
Yeah. And you feel that like, oh, right? That reaction every person. Oh, cool. Nice.
Right. Oh.
Really? Wow. Well, hey, it was good to see you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, not fuck. I mean, fuck.
But like,
fuck me.
Fuck everything.
Is what it is.
Fuck all of it.
So I hated that.
Definitely.
I hated that question. And I hated, because I almost felt like I was letting them down and letting me down.
Mm-hmm.
All these people ask what I'm up to. When's
Right.
your next thing coming out? When am I going to see you on the big screen?
Yep.
Shout out to Dan. I don't know if you remember Dan.
Just Dan?
Dan.
From high school?
Yeah.
Last name? Wait, should we not do that? We shouldn't do that.
Yeah, we won't.
You have to show me a pic. And
I'll show
Dan,
you
if you're listening, we just I did a lot of drugs. I forget a lot of things.
Yeah, don't take offense. He didn't remember that I sat right next to him in class.
I forgot that we sat right next to each other in class not even like that long ago.
Yeah.
I understand though, because I feel very good about what I do, and I'm grateful for that. I've been blessed to have work that I'm proud of, but there is nothing, and this was another thing about the comedy thing. I was very sick of every time I talked to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's comedy going?
Oh, I feel like I've probably done that to you.
And probably, but it's fine. It's like, it's part of the deal. It's like, if you're famous, people are going to ask you for a picture. If you're an aspiring filmmaker, people are going to say, when am I going to see you on the big screen?
Yeah.
If you're an aspiring comedian, people are going to ask you, have you had any shows lately?
Yeah. When's your next show?
When's your next show?
Oh, have you gotten the people that say, hey, tell me a joke?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a hard one, because I'm like, this is the thing about me too, is like when I'm not in a creative space, like when I'm not, and it has to be like a comfort thing too. So if I'm like not sitting here with you doing the podcast or standing on stage with a microphone or around people I'm incredibly comfortable around, I'm a pretty serious, like straight fucking lace person. And I'm not going to just say a joke out of nowhere. I'm not just going to pop it. Well, what do you even do? You know what's the hardest part about tell a joke is like doing a stand-up joke is so much different than doing a knock-knock joke. Like, you tell me to tell you a joke, and it's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to sit here and give you like a critique of like American politics? Like, because that's what I might do on stage, but like, that's not a joke. Like, that's not a knock-knock, hey, who's there? Like, that's like a critique of like fucking capitalism and socialism and libertarianism and talking about how they all manifest into one single fuck robot and sex doll. And like, that's the kind of comedy I might do.
Like, dude, you're not a fucking street magician.
Yeah.
You can't just, let me pull out one single joke right here.
Let me pull a rabbit out of my asshole for you. And that's what it becomes, right? Mm-hmm. Could you imagine if someone walked up to you and was like, "Oh, you're a filmmaker? Like, shoot a scene."
Yeah. How absurd would that be?
That would be so absurd. Dude, shoot a scene. Set up a shot.
Pitch me an idea right now.
Yeah. Hold the boom.
Yeah. What? I want to see a Disney movie where they talk about stocks and... What would that be? It'd be big time financial investor. It's a Pixar movie. Big time financial investor. Top of the world. Best stock investor.
Right.
You know, and how do we make it Disney? Like, he's the best candy trader in all the land.
Yeah.
He's the biggest candy company owner. He's the CEO.
He's the CEO of Big Candy. Yeah,
Big Candy. The whole world. It's like Candy Crush the movie in a way. The whole world is like Candyland, and everyone just, the candy is the currency.
Yes.
You know, like candy corn is probably like the penny pinchers because it's one of the worst candies out there. So all the candy corn is like poverty.
Right.
And then you got like Ghirardelli chocolate, which is like all the rich, luxurious people. Mm-hmm. And it's anyway, the big time candy owner guy now is humbled. He went from Ghirardelli Square to Candy. What did I just say? Candy Corn Corner. And we watch his journey in this Pixar movie, and that's a way to convey stocks.
Yes,
the stock market. Why did I start talking about this? How did we get here?
You gotta believe that it's wrong to be on Candy Corn Corner. But you can only know that by going there. And then it's like, wow, I'm glad I'm not there anymore, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Humble beginnings. Also, sorry if anyone's a candy corn fan. I've never met anyone who is a fanatic about candy corn. No. People like it. And this is maybe that, you know, and this is fun because we're in October now.
It's time.
It's spooky season. It's Halloween time.
I don't know a candy corn fan. And I don't know a black licorice fan.
My grandfather, the only person I know who's a fan of black licorice.
That sounds about right for grandfather.
Yeah.
Though.
Right? Like, they had the most musty cologne.
Yeah.
The most musty tasting candy.
Yep.
Candy corn has got to be the most mediocre candy to still be successful.
Right.
Like, there's no way the candy corn market is... But it's thriving, isn't it?
It is.
It's every year. There it is. Candy corn.
It's always there.
So what a life.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have that as a side business.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I own a candy corn company, and candy corn is regarded as just But yet here we are every year. You guys still buy it. You still eat it. It's still around.
And I personally have not eaten a candy corn since the 90s.
This is what I'm saying, man. Nobody talks about candy corn. Who says, you know what I could really go for? Big old box of candy corn. Going to the movies, going to get some popcorn and some candy corn.
Yeah.
Where do you even find candy corn outside of Halloween?
Not even at old people's places.
No. They just have the hard candies.
They have hard candies.
The little caramel things and the strawberry wrapper.
Candy corn has to be a money laundering scheme then.
It's like a mattress firm.
Yeah.
You're right.
For the people who don't know, tell them about the mattress firm, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is fun. Okay. There's a theory out there.
Yeah.
That mattress firm is actually just a front for laundering money. Because when you go to a mattress firm, this is so true. I had never noticed this until this started popping up. I had noticed it, but I hadn't realized it.
Right.
Nobody's ever in those stores.
Ever. The
parking lots are always empty, but yet those stores are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. Mattresses, even the most expensive one, even if you sold one of those expensive mattresses a day, that's not enough to fuel the fire to have that many Mattress Firm locations everywhere with zero business, with maybe one person ever all day in that store?
Yep.
Come on, man.
I think the other thing is, I think I saw where they said, like, there's people who say that there's, like, literally Mattress Firms, like, across the street from each other.
They are.
Like, multiple in the same area.
Someone had that on a video they made where they zoomed out a Google map
Yeah.
view, and it was like Mattress Firm all along the same road.
Right.
You know, it makes sense for a Starbucks, makes sense for a McDonald's, but a Mattress Firm?
Money laundering, or for all you QAnons, human trafficking.
Holy shit.
Hmm?
I saw a crazy fucking thing actually on that.
Ooh.
On Wayfair.
Yup.
Did you hear that?
I remember that one.
Yeah. Where they were selling items
Yeah.
and they named the item after the person, the child.
Yup.
So it would be like, here's this Brian dresser for $15,000.
Yeah.
Weighs 60 pounds. And people, that was their way of like selling a fucking child. It's fucked up. It's so wild. And I haven't looked enough into the Wayfair thing, but I just saw a brief little thing about it. And I was like, holy shit.
Brown hair.
Oak finish.
Hazel eyes. Oak finished 60-pound dresser.
15 grand.
15 grand. That was the thing, right? The price.
Yeah. And I have noticed that on Amazon before,
Mm-hmm.
where something is absurdly priced.
Yeah.
Like $99,000.
Right.
And I'm going, what?
I had to really take a piece of humble pie on the conspiracy thing, because I started getting in a mindset where I was just, like I was saying, that was part of the thing, was just standing in a very like a high ground on people who believed some things.
Yeah.
I was starting, and I used to be a hardcore conspiracy person. Like, and that's where I come from. And like, that's why I think I started to build such an ambivalence towards it, because I just started to be like, okay, I'm over it. And maybe that's the conspiracy, is like the amount of conspiracies that are bullshit to like dilute the other ones out.
Ooh, that's fun.
Right? You know, I could hear the Wayfair thing and just go, yeah, absurd. That's absurd. No, that's not happening. Everyone's fucking crazy right now. Why is everyone saying stupid shit? At the same time, like, even if that's not what's happening with that, it dilutes the point that that's happening in the world.
Exactly.
And that's not a conspiracy. That's just the truth.
Right.
Whether or not that's happening, the truth of the matter is there is human trafficking happening. So that's also like the conspiracy, right? Is like, you get these people, whether it is or not true, they make bold claims and they say like, hey, like children are being trafficked through Amazon by way of overpriced dressers. And then like everyone just starts going like, that's insane. And that must be complete bullshit. But they don't look at the fact that like there are children being human trafficked. Like that isn't an objective like truth. Like no one can say that that's not true.
Instead of being like, no, that's that Clarice Armour for $50,000. That's not a person. That's just, it's a very rare type of oak wood.
Right.
That
No, I bought it. There was no kid.
there was no kid.
There was no children. There was a finger in one of the drawers. If that's what you mean, I just thought the delivery man had an accident. But I mean, I guess the finger was extra small.
It's like your finger in your Wendy's chili.
Ah, the old finger in the Wendy's chili.
What a time, right? Those
What
are
a
simpler times.
Yes.
All you had to worry about was someone's finger in the Wendy's chili. But you heard it here first. If this ends up like spreading and becoming like a hot topic, you heard it here first. Candy corn, candy corn industry is actually a front for money laundering.
You heard it here first. This is a Red Band podcast exclusive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The candy corn industry is a money laundering front. This is the most absurd time of all time.
Yeah.
This is the craziest time we've ever lived in. I think in 5 years, we're going to be saying some outlandish shit. We're going to be like, yeah, the colony of the Zebular universe landed the other day. What do you think about those fucking guys?
Well, and then we'll be like, oh, the Zebs?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, can't say that. Can't say Zebs.
Can't say Zebs.
That's a derogatory term to the Zebular colony.
Yeah.
that actually roots way back into their brutal history and upbringing into our galactic sector. And they'll be like, fuck. I was just joking, guys.
I have to go to my little cousin's birthday party. It's going to be at Roller King.
Holy shit, that place is still in business?
I refuse to call it Roller Skate City still.
Yeah,
I
right?
still refuse to call it Roller Skate City.
It's Roller King, man.
It's Roller King.
Roller King's way better.
Roller
It rolls
King's
off the
so
tongue.
much better. I got to go to Roller King. I'm stoked. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
That'll be sick. I want to see some vids of you doing some. Are you good at skating?
No.
Okay. There's those people there that can do the backward skating.
Oh, yeah. There's no in between. The only people who are at roller rinks are children or midlife crisis, trying to relive the days of childhood.
The glory days.
Yeah. The only people at a fucking roller rink.
I used to really be into skating until my feet got into this weird phase where they were too big for the smaller size, but too small for the bigger size. And then my parents they got me a pair of rollerblades for my birthday, and I loved it because I was so excited. I outgrew my last pair. And then something happened where we just couldn't get the fit right. And I think my foot was just too wide for what they had at the time. And then we struggled for a while to find a pair, and then I think we just gave up, and I never rollerbladed ever again.
Right.
What a sad story.
That is a sad story. That makes me feel for you.
I just unlocked that memory right here live.
You did.
Like I hadn't thought about that until now, and I'm like, damn, the reason I stopped rollerblading was because I couldn't find a pair that fit me.
And you know what? That shouldn't have happened. The same thing happened to you with condoms, right? You were just trying to find a pair that fit you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Goldilocks story.
Too big for the regular size, too small for the extra large.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a rubber that fit you, and you refuse to wear condoms now.
Yeah. And now I just don't even use them, man.
Exactly.
I'm going to pick back up one of the two things.
Yes.
I'll give you a hint. It's going to be rollerblading.
Yeah, because it's not going to be the other.
Well, on that note, I hope you have fun rollerblading.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll see some vids or some pics of your Roller King status.
Maybe for the Patreon one day.
Maybe, yeah. There we go. Some fun Roller King. I like the music that they play.
They do play good music.
They do play great music.
That's the best part.
It's really got I would want to go if they had a theme night, like a 70s night, and wear the old school 4-wheel rollerblades and have the pants that flare out.
And an afro.
Yeah. And a tucked in, very vibrant looking shirt with the top 4 buttons undone with a chain and chest hair.
Yes. And cocaine in your pocket.
Yeah. And John Lennon glasses.
Yep.
Come on.
Those are the days.
Dude, I'd be there in a second.
Those are the days.
Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for listening again. Thank you for being red, for staying red and becoming part of the Red Bandits. That's our family that we call all of our followers. Whether you are subscribed to the Patreon or not, you follow us, you're a Red Bandit.
You are a Red Bandit. Welcome to a new generation.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the next evolution. Red Banditos. For those who speak Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Lights, camera, action.
Nothing unites people like someone dying.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's sad and it's true, though.
The candy corn industry is a money laundering front.
What's the worst, acid trip you've ever had?
Well, this is Red Band Podcast, baby. Movies, music, conspiracies, deep existential crises. It's all inside and it's all unfiltered. So let's get started.